Okay, let me just start that one again. Okay, so here we have a game. It is Feanor as the Goths vs Terror as the Byzantines. At the rate of this game, Feanor was just below 2k3. He got 2k3 back via a few recent games. Terror, 2k1 at this current point. Nearly 2k2. He lost his 2k2 overnight, I believe. So what are we dealing with? Simple, I cannot speak today. We have Feanor as the Goths. Goths is a decent enough civilization, but Byzantines is almost a hard counter. The thing is, Goths lack counters to cataphracts. They're also very slow boom civ, so cataphracts are not to our reach. At the same time, Byzantines have other anti-Goth options like Champion against Huscarl and Halberdier. They have Hand Cannoneer, which is big against all of them, except maybe Huscarl. Huscarl in mass can kill Hand Cannoneer, because their bonus damage, as soon as they get close enough, Hand Cannoneers are quite slow and can't really run away. As soon as Huscarls get close enough, they're going to get absolutely butchered. So it just depends what we're going to see here. Let me just close this off. I'm going to play these on a little bit faster speed just to get into the game a little bit. We see Feanor going for a berries first strategy. What does he have in the way of deer? He has 3 nice safe deer. He's even scouted them. So yeah, the very first strat where you essentially just go into wood quite early. Be a bit odd, but we'll just see how it works. I'm not entirely sure what his plan here is, because the way I've seen it done is usually not with one on wood this early, it's usually a little bit later. I'm curious to see what we're going to see. I'm thinking maybe 25 plus 2 boom from the berry start. I'm not so massive on booming with generic eco civs if you go for the berry starts. If they have wood bonuses and you want to turn essentially a wood bonus into a food bonus, that's when you go for berries first. And you can pull off some really nice booms. I recently did a guide myself where I did 22 plus 2 as Ethiopians to 3TC boom. That was a nice build. Apart from the 1 lumber camp, he's going to need probably 6, and he might go for 7, like for example 6 in lumber camp, 1 straggler to click up. I don't even want to talk about what Terror's doing, because every single game Terror does a 25 plus 2 into a boom with idle time. Of course it might be different now that he just lost a villager. Terror was not streaming these games, so he's at his full concentration, which is not something we see these days. Feanor's a bit more than the villager ahead, as expected, because obviously Terror losing one. Not entirely sure Terror's plan. Of course he would just boom into Hand Cannoneers, boom into cataphracts. Looking at his map though, golds are not so good. There's 1 second, there's the second, both outside. His main gold is pretty atrocious. Feanor is up with a 24 plus 2. 7 wood, yeah, this is an acceptable boom. When you have deer anyway. Terror, 25 plus 2, obviously with extra villager, mining this gold around here because efficiency and all that. 5 on berries to compensate for late deer or something, yeah. He's probably just going to go out of these out of luck. I guess he just didn't notice that sheep was there either. Not the best dark age. Stone wise, Terror is really secure, which is quite nice if he wants to go cataphracts later on. Even Castle Age cataphracts without elite, they're okay against Goth infantry. Going halbs against Byzantines is not something you tend to see happen. Market Blacksmith from Timo, and he almost clicks up. Now clicks up. Not a bad time, 16 seconds idle time, a little bit on the upper side for my preference, but obviously still nothing wrong with it, he has lots of wood. He's getting horse collar now, he can start adding in some farms. He should have enough wood for a 3TC. Terror's probably going to get the relics, Feanor not doing any sort of map control strategy. Back main gold, back second stone. Not good main stone, his Goths is not too important, you just need 1 stone really, you need castle to research anarchy. That's pretty much it for the main part. I mean, eventually you'll need elite, but that's about it. Oh, I just realized when I take this rec from Feanor, we have his Twitch chat embedded. Lots of wood. His economy actually looks quite good right now, just simply because he's up this fast. He's even getting monster and building 1 TC. He's going to add the second TC later for a 3 TC boom. But he's up really fast, so he's going to be able to probably snipe at least 1 or 2 relics just because of his uptime. Terror up quite a bit later. Quite a lot on gold. He's going to go double monastery. I was watching this game live and I was assuming that Terra was going like 28 plus 2 or something along those lines. Slow this down a little bit. So both players are going for a 3 TC boom approach by the looks of it. The Irish Feanor's extra TC, no 4th TC. It's going on stone a little bit now, quite hefty on the gold income. He did get 3 relics though, just because being up fast. Not sure why Terra added the extra... well, this is getting too fast for me. This is full KC area on mode. This is too much. You need for Terra, he's going to up quite quickly. Probably go into hand cannoneers, maybe HC BBC. Straightforward against Goths if you're up quicker. Of course, Byzantine cheaper imp is a big advantage. Did he build? No, he's already up. Oh, of course he didn't need any. He's gonna get it for chemistry. Barracks though? Oh, obviously to get the ranges. Yeah, there we go. Quite straightforward. Gold is not good at all. Feanor should have scouted this. I mean, Feanor does have vision of these 2 golds over here as well, so he knows there's no bad golds in Terra's base because he can account for all 4 that aren't his. This is a really nice area for building houses down here. 1 room to get a villager along, just build houses along the bottom. It's always nice to see. Outposts absolutely everywhere for Feanor. Well, 2 places. Gonna see how this one turns out. Interesting. It's quite good for Terror actually, unless this gets mysteriously converted. That should not have been converted at all. Not even Sanctity for the Goth player. Not even sure if Goths get Sanctity, it's never come into play for me. Yeah, they did. Figured as much. Going full pike by the look of it. I mean, he's getting infantry armor upgrades of course, but going spearman first. HC Katas. This is going to be an interesting one. Monk gain snipe, that's fine. 1 for 1 Maginot trade. This castle is going to go up. Look at that economies, 96 villagers for Feanor, 91 for Terror. Pretty similar booms here. Of course, the Goths will come into their own towards the late game as long as the Byzantine player doesn't get the power units up and running. I'm a bit confused about the pikeman. I mean, maybe he's assuming cataphracts. As far as I remember, cataphracts still get 15 bonus damage from halbs, because they negate, what, like 16 of it? And halbs do, what, 32? Against cavalry. So they're still quite effective and very cost efficient considering the price of cataphracts. I don't think we're going to see logistic at this game, obviously not, because it's beyond ridiculously expensive. Siege Workshop Feanor, maybe we're going to see onagers. Interesting mix, sending halbs straight to their deaths into hand cannoneers. That's the point you need to start taking into elite Huskarl and just start spamming them with anarchy. Refusion now for Feanor. These 4 barracks are going to, well, 5 barracks are going to be like 10, which is always nice. Providing he has the text to produce the right units from them. He could easily overwhelm hand cannoneers actually. The amount of hand cannoneers that Terror has is... it's okay, but just 1 Maginot coming out of here would deal them. RRP the BBC and lack of racks down here. If these racks go down, it's going to be a slight problem. Elite Huskarl finally coming in for Feanor. He's still missing a couple of attack upgrades, but you know, at least he does have anarchy already, which is quite big. These HC get murdered because they're firing halbs and the Huskarls are just destroying them. Tribs over here, I'm assuming that was a castle from Feanor. And he's about to lose access to this gold. Terror did lose a bit of gold, that has been mined by Timo in that though, so that's always good for Timo. Timo aka Feanor, I should probably be a bit more specific about that. Yeah, Huskarls are just ripping through the HC. The thing is, cataphracts now, not elite kata, but of course they're still decently anti-infantry. They're going to be murdering the Huskarls, but the halberdiers are going to be okay at this stage, whether or not that's strong. A little bit of economy rating over here. Tower's going to lose some villagers. We see a slight village lead for Timbo, but both of them are essentially full boomed. Timbo is lacking the houses though. He has about 1 million queued up though and about 100,000 villagers building them, so that should be perfectly fine. And he does indeed have loom. Iron casting from Terry is going to try and upgrade the katas. Yeah, the katas are actually not doing as great against the halbs, especially because of the really cheap cost of halbs for the Goths and the spam speed. Terra's castle being a bit forward. He's even building another one over here. These are a little bit risky. I wouldn't build them outside my base. I'd even build them back. This is a really good example. One here, maybe even one here would be a little bit ballsy, but still okay. Maybe here's a bit on the risky side, but if he just does that, it's never going to have any problems. Elite Cataphracts has come in though. Those are going to be decently effective. Lots of HC as well. The help shouldn't be a problem as long as he keeps the two close together. Also, don't take this out of context. Feanor asked why he can't have any wood. But yeah, ignore the Twitch chat because obviously it's what he's saying that's going out of context. So what we're seeing here, we're seeing elite katas with the HC. I mean, I'm not too sure how he's failing to the halbs. Terror bringing in the villagers to try and keep his castle alive using trips to kill the bomber cannons, but obviously the Goth spam speed and the cheapness of the units is going to be definitely coming into effect here. Feanor only has 4 completed barracks down here. Now he has 6 and 7th coming up, so that should be more than enough production for a long time. Yeah, the halbs are still doing okay-ish against cataphracts simply because the anti-cavalry bonus is high enough that it's paying off, but obviously the cataphracts are going to be stomping out the Huskarls. As I said, I don't think we're going to see... Look at the resources these players actually. Look at Feanor's res. That's insane. But he's forever pop capped at this point and only 130 villagers, not like 140. With the Goth like extra 10 population cap. Not going to stop this castle going down. None of Feanor, Terror's own PVCs. It's getting elite skirmisher now. That's not going to pay off, especially since the cataphracts are going to be going down soon. Losing 1 castle production is decently high enough. Looks like Terror does have the push here though. He has enough hand cannons to try and pull this one off. He needs to do something about the Treb and the BBCs though. He needs to somehow snipe him. He doesn't have the units for that. Looking at his resources, he's not pop capped. He has a lot of room to make some more trash with. He's adding in skirmishers, which is a bit odd, but agreeable. I mean, even some light cap right now would help out decently well, just coming up behind here and forcing the halberdiers back. And that would definitely let the cataphracts really rip into the heavy Huskarls rather. There is no raffle today. If we hit a certain amount of viewers, then of course I will just enable one. But this is a quick stream today. But as I said, we hit enough viewers. Terror just does not have much army. He has a collection of some skirmishers, mostly skirmishers really, just some amount of cataphracts. He only has these 2 castles. This one's still in a risky position. But yeah, the skirmishers are not going to help him against any of these units. They are okay against halbs if you have enough skirmishers massed, but if you don't, and honestly, even equal numbers against halbs, the halbs will win. And obviously both are just a meat shield, so both the halbs are just a meat shield. Bomber cannon shield snipe the skirmishers decently well, but the Huskarls are just running right in there doing the job for them. All the cataphracts are gone. This looks like GG from Terror because he's just got 7 or something cataphracts against, well, this many halberdier plus Huskarl and all these skirms here to die. This castle's going to go down. This looks pretty GG to me. Terror did build a back castle, but obviously he's missing this one. He is pop capped. 74 military, but again, there's so many skirmishers. As soon as these cats go down, then he loses what, 50 plus army here. Just to like 2 Huskarls worth maybe. Yeah, it looks like Feanor does have this one. It's quite nice Goth gameplay. Looking back here, his economy's going a little bit idle, but he's doing okay. He's taking this gold out here. He's still taking these golds over here. Terror did take one of these golds, he is not taking this one. And he calls it GG anyway, he needs to repair this castle obviously to keep it alive, but nothing he can do to really deal with this. Looking at his resources, they're okay-ish, but only 200 gold. Getting raided in the wood line, only has this gold left. If we look at Feanor's resources, yeah, 2k gold. He has no issues. He's permanently top captain, this is how queued up his ranks are. And obviously that's not going to be a light work. We do have 20-ish viewers actually, so I would be happy enough to start a raffle if you want. Oh shit. I'm gonna make this one a gold. And we could up it to platinum if anything happens. So anyway, we're gonna move swiftly on to the next game. No hanging about today, this is gonna be a quick stream as per usual. I'm still off for another 4 days, I'm off work, so I can quite easily do a stream within the week. We'll see what games there are, if there's anything impressive. I would like to test our new software for casting live games. It is exceptionally good stuff. So jumping into the game, we have Feanor as the Berbers and JonSlow as the Saracens. Obviously, either player can go heavy camel here, it's kind of the winning situation because neither civ has halberdier. They don't have the best anti-cavalry options. You do have the Mamluk from the Saracens, which are too slow and too hard to get up and running in most realistic games. So that's always something that the Berbers have going for them. Terror does rate Berbers as the bottom tier civ. Feanor rates them is okay, but Terror rates them as 31 out of 31 civs, which is always fun to see. As I said, heavy camel is probably likely from both. You do have the cheaper ones from the Berbers at the same time as you do have the extra HP with Zealot trait on the Saracen heavy camels. What other units do we have? I mean, we have the camel archer, but we're not going to see cavalry archers from the Saracens. They are good, but they're not great if the Berber player just has the cheaper camels to spam on them enough to overwhelm them. You could always open scouts, because obviously that's something that Berbers can do quite cheaply to go scouts. The discount only applies in the Castle Age. I also just realised I have not updated the score. Why does no one tell me these things? So yes, I don't think we're going to see camel archers, we're going to see cavalry archers. Camels is a big one. We're going to see probably Hussar raiding from the Berber player. Quite good cavalry there. If I remember rightly, we do see Genitors this game, but we'll see that when we get it. I don't want to release too many spoilers. Looking at the maps, I just looked at Feanor's on the minimap. Looking at his stones, his main stone is pretty bad. His second stone is also quite bad. Main gold, incredibly safe. Second gold, incredibly safe. Other second gold, incredibly safe. Extra gold in the safe, in the back. Extra stone in the back. That's a almost perfect map, really. The only other extra gold is out here in the base of the map. Terror's resources, on the other hand, he has basically the same situation when it comes to the stone. He has 1 second gold outside, but his main gold is forward. It's not very good, but obviously, if you just sort of assume this in the way of where are the pressure points. So Timo's going to try and push. He's going to try push here. It's unlikely he's going to push right here and hit gold quite away. So it's an okay goal, but it's definitely not good. It's still technically forward. And house walling is going to be more like this to this rather than a quick wall like this. Second gold in the back, so that's safe enough. I'd be content enough to boom on this map. Extra berries, that's a really nice thing to have, especially when it's with your deer. I know it's obviously not ideal to mill your deer, but if you have an extra berries, it's worth milling those alone. So you save yourself a lot of scouting time. You get a lot of early map scouting done, a lot of I wouldn't say possibly layman because you wouldn't get this immediately, but get a lot of info on your opponent. For example, Terra's now coming to bother. Timo's pushing over here. Let's just see what happens here. But yeah, it's really nice to have the extra berries in all situations. So it looks like... What happened there? How did Feanor get 11 HP on his scout? What? How do you get 11 HP on your scout? Without like walking into TC or... Did he attack a wolf? That'd be the only thing I'd think of that could explain it. Maybe he attacked the wolf with the scout. Huh. I'm just so curious. But either way, let's just get back to considering the game. Yeah. We are seeing the Berber player go for an FC. It is a 27 plus 2, whereas we see Terror with his 25 plus 2, missing one scout. As again, 25 plus 2 every single game into some kind of crappy boom. It's to be expected. Again, he does have 4 deer. And obviously the extra berries is really nice. Bosaw coming in for Terror, Monster coming up, TC's coming up very soon after. First one on that gold. And next one on the woodline. Again, Feanor, similar stuff. Monstray, 2 TCs. There's not too much to say about this really. Pretty average boom. I mean, looking towards the late game, we are probably going to see camel fights. Monks, maybe from the Saracen player in the late game. Not much to convert when you're talking about the Berbers though, especially since they have the cheaper Hussar to prevent you going full monks. If you're not getting Atonement, that is a ballsy move. Both players have Atonement! What? What is this? What? Why are both players going to Atonement? I will never know, but we see stables being added for Feanor, 25-minute click up, 28. It's a very good time up. Poor castle from the master himself, from Terror, but lots of light cav controlling the map for Feanor. Arbalast from the Saracen player, that's nice. If it's very, very fast, then Arbalast can kill cavalry. For example, you won't have your +4 Cavalier by that point, you might still have Castle Age Knights and be researching that. And you could easily lose your production buildings in the meantime. Treb war here, Terror usually wins those, but in this case it was even either way. But he does have a lot more Trebs surviving. Siege Workshop, lots of Arbalast, lots of Genitors coming in for Feanor now, I remember. Siege Ram from Terror, but he's not bringing them into fight, he's not bringing them into force Feanor to micro against them. Some Mangonels now, Onger almost coming in, Onger's going to be quite important. Like I've just sniping the Ongers though. Gentors are not that good. They're good enough for anti-archer, but they're just not worth overbuilding skirmishers. I guess maybe for a little bit the micro against the Ongers while the light cav kill them. Terror's a bit low in resources, and we look at the booms right now, we see very, very equal, same population numbers of villagers in fact. Both essentially fully boomed. Terror can't actually extend beyond his pop cap though, whereas Feanor's stuck at 150, 160. Hussar now coming in for Feanor. Feanor has 3.8k gold. He only has the one relic. I heard him pick up on there actually. There's another one there. Where was that relic picked up? Ah yeah. Ah, Terror's Monstray there. He got destroyed. And the fourth relic is now there and exposed. So he's got 4k gold and he's not going for Cavalier, he's just going for Hussar. I mean, I'm not sure if that's just a plan for the late game or what. Hussar doing okay enough against Arbalast, are not always ideal, they're microed well with Thumb Ring. Genitor should not be that effective though. So it looks like Feanor built the houses. He can now extend his pop terror boomed a little bit harder. He does have a lot of villagers here which can instantly die to just, you know, 10 Hussar down here and Tower loses a good 25% of his economy. He's already taking... I swear he had something here, but maybe I was just imagining it. He's taking the second gold. His main gold is depleted. He's taking the second stone out here. His other gold he's just taken down here, but again a little bit risky. Siege rams completely blocking the way, which is definitely an interesting one. No sneaky under shots on the Genitors, but it looks like the rams are probably going to go down to the Hussars. No blast furnace either. So it looks like Terra's finally fully upgraded these. Looks like bomber cannon is going to be the siege of choice. This is a pretty difficult one because obviously you will lose your Hussar trying to kill off the siege rams, and the Genitors are kind of useless to try and infinitely micro against this many Arbalest. Looking at Terror, he's actually quite low on gold. I was wondering why he GG'd this game as early as he did. There are no spoilers in this stream. But yeah, Terror basically is GG, he's out of gold. But again, this does look like a very hard to stop combination. I think it's very cheap, especially if you wanted to sell stone with the Saracen market, especially you could afford to make quite a bit more siege rams and deal with this. Pikeman's a really good choice. All the Arbalists are going down. Of course, if these weren't pikemen, if they were held here, then it'd be really strong for the against the Genitors as well as the Hussars. So honestly, as a one unit combination, it would kill them all. The problem with that is that Genitors do not have any bonus against the pike line, or spear line rather, but they do take bonus damage from them. So it's basically like worse skirmishers for countering the trash cycle. Skirmishers with Terror is actually not too bad, but lots of Hussar. Feanor's still not making gold units, no Cavalier, he has 5k gold. Cavalier would just murder the skirms, murder the Arbalest, even kill the pikemen. And obviously the rams would still wouldn't stand a chance, he would have to keep microing the bomber cannons against the rams forever. Terror just keeps slowly losing more and more Arbalest, so every time he does, he just cannot afford to replace them. He has about 600 gold left. Feanor finally getting Cavalier upgrade. But not much gold left for Terror. And he has no army to fight this with. And GG's been called. Thanks for the recent follows, guys. I think we're going to move swiftly on to the third and final game. Okay, so here we have a lack of spec overlay. There we go, it is back. We have Terra as the Aztec's gonna do a 25 plus 2 3 CC boom. I call it now. I don't even remember how he opened the game, but that's more than likely what's going to happen. We have Feanor as the Vietnamese. Aztecs against Vietnamese is like butter to a hot knife. It's pretty ridiculous how different these civs are. Vietnamese are regarded as pretty much bottom tier. Did I rate them bottom tier myself? I don't even remember. Yeah, I rate them in the very bottom. So this is going to be an interesting one, obviously, but dealing with Aztecs, Aztecs being the #1 civ against the 31st civ, I think we're going to see some impressive gameplay from Feanor to try and win this one. But yeah, Terror 25+2, I call it now. Anyway, so what are we going to be seeing here from... Did Feanor go for a... Yes, Feanor went for a food start again. I remember seeing this. Feanor's Dark Age was absolutely disastrous. 25 pop from Terror, going 25+2. Feanor has not a lot of wood, but send 4 villagers to panic build anyway, that'll do. He's going archers with a very odd build. Archers against Aztecs. I mean, it's not exactly amazing to have to go archers against Aztecs. He could just add the eagles. Feanor is adding... He added in a stable and he's throwing in some knights. And he's losing them to the monks. The knights are not a bad addition if you have your own monks to cover them back. They'll do okay against the possible mangonels to counter your expos. They'll do well against the eagle warriors as well. But obviously they're easy to convert. That's why the crossbows are there to kill the monks. Terror's quite invested in this though. He is 3 TC while making this semi-forward, the monastery opening. You never want the Aztecs to have the relics. If the Aztecs get the relics, then you have real big problems, because basically 3 relics for them is like having 5. If they have all 5 relics, it's like having 7. It's just such a huge relic advantage they get when they get all the relics. So much gold. We see 3... Without looking like he's going to grab any more relics, Timo can easily grab... Yeah, there we go. We got 2vs3 relics here. That's okay-ish, but it's still quite an advantage for the Aztecs. We're seeing Arbalest against Eagles though. Lots of Light Cav being mixed in. Light Cav is definitely a very good choice against the Eagle Warriors. Of course, you are Vietnamese. You don't have terrific cavalry. You have tanky elephants. But against Aztecs, I mean, you could already see now 2 have been converted. I wouldn't really be considering going the elephants. The Arbalasts are okay, they're very tanky with the 48 HP. Seed drums though from Aztecs, I mean, that's too many seed drums to deal with. You can't beat that with ranged units. I'm not entirely sure what his plan here is other to just melt. Rattan's been added to and swordsman. Here we go, we're seeing champions from the Vietnamese. Oh, Terror suiciding so many monks to the castle. Rattans with the extra 1 damage are really nice against the Eagle Warriors. I believe I just saw Jaguars being mixed in. Yeah, there we go. Jaguars from the Aztec player. Jaguars plus Sea Drum in full should win this one. The Terror just keeps adding in the Eagles. And obviously the Eagle's not that efficient. I think the Sea Drum, as long as he masses enough of them, are going to be more an overkill. Elite Jaguar Wars, and they are fully upgraded at this point, so I'm not entirely sure what he is scared of. Lots of champions though for Feanor. And obviously the champions are going to be useful. Lots of more eagles though. I mean, so much more army for Terra at this point. Terra is 160 pop, he's not quite 200 pop. Looking at Feanor though, 135 pop, he only has 85 villagers. He was complaining about this in the game actually, 42 farmers, 31 lumberjacks. Not really a lot, but when you're not losing a lot of your army, you have all these Rattans and Arbalasts and they're just not dying, it's maybe not that big of an issue. But staying 140 pop as a maximum, that's a little bit of an issue. Also, Light Cav, he has to keep making these things. I mean, can you afford to keep running his TCs? They are running a little bit longer. Let's see how this goes. I mean, Terror is making skirmishers now. I don't see why he's making skirmishers, because he's just pop capping himself on units that are not going to be that great against, especially the champions and the probable siege. I'm not entirely sure why we're not seeing bomber cannons from the Vietnamese player. Is this castle going to go down? Aztecs with 3 relics definitely should be winning this, and when I say should, I mean should. Obviously we're dealing with players with slightly different skill levels. We're dealing with a JonSlow average 2k1, 2k2, with Feanor who's average 2k2, 2k3, that kind of region, maybe 100 elo more, which gives him a slight win rate advantage. Of course, it doesn't quite close the gap of Aztecs against Vietnamese, you know, number 1 civ against number 31. But yeah, so we have Terracol in the GG. Why is Terracol in the GG? He is out of gold. He cannot make a single, he can make 1 single Eagle Warrior, but he has no troops. He has 18 military, which are all just skirmishers here that are dying. In general, I think that's pretty impressive from Feanor. I think the Lake have a definitely good decision. The elephants were a little bit odd. Obviously, giving your enemy a couple of elephants when they're Aztecs or a lot of monks is not the best idea. Rattans are definitely still proving quite strong though. I mean, the pierce armor is one thing, but just the extra 1 damage is really, really nice when it comes to targeting things like the Eagle Warriors, getting the extra 1 damage in. Yeah, it was really well played from Feanor. He definitely didn't have too much of an economy. I mean, still 96 villagers. He ended that under 100 still. 76 farmers, barely any food because he's, of course... Actually, to be fair, before he was making the skirms, he shouldn't have been that choked for food. But yeah, keeping the Rattans alive means he didn't even really need the gold because he's not losing the gold units. Really well played from Feanor. Honestly, before Eagles get +4 or whatever the Inca and Mayan unique techs are for them, I think Arbalast are okay-ish. If you just get some sort of slight meat shield, Lightcav is always a very good one. Of course, Feanor did not really have the economy to run that, but he did anyway. And as you can see now, he's still under vills, but yeah, Terra's suffering a similar problem. Lightcav are quite good against the Eagle Warriors. They still get kind of melted if they're on their own, but just the slightest bit of support, like the slightest bit of range support, then they're going to get mobbed quite easily. I think maybe if you push a bit with the Seed Rams a bit harder, maybe making some more, instead of spending the resources on Eagle Warriors, and that way he'd be able to afford Jaguars as well, which they're working out really well for him. Jaguars are actually somewhat versatile. They're very, very good all round in general, just because the Garland War's extra attack makes them quite good. The champions had stocked, but obviously the Garland Wars, what are they called? Jaguars still would have done with that, as long as the Seed Rams were tanking arrow fire for a long time. But bit odd move from Terra. I'm not entirely sure why he went into trash at the one point where he's Aztecs with the relics. But I guess maybe he just foresaw that he was going to run out of gold. He did have the full map control though. A little bit of fighting over that gold over there, but nothing too special. Well played from Feanor though.